Have you ever felt manipulated in a relationship? Let's delve into an experience that's far more sinister than everyday manipulation, a phenomenon that can warp your understanding of reality, known as gaslighting. This term hails from the 1938 play Gaslight, where a husband strategically convinces his wife that she is losing her mind, leading her to question her sanity continually. Gaslighting operates subtly, often unrecognized, because it gradually erodes your self-confidence and self-worth over a considerable amount of time. It is one of the most insidious forms of emotional abuse due to its deceptive nature. The individual perpetrating gaslighting cleverly employs misleading and coercive tactics that sow seeds of doubt in your mind, compelling you to question your perceptions, your ability to recall events accurately, and sometimes your very sanity. This form of manipulation can have far-reaching effects on your mental health. These effects are not limited to increased anxiety and depression, but may also result in a pervasive sense of helplessness that can be difficult to overcome. It's essential to be aware that gaslighting is devoid of any genuine affection or care. Instead, it acts as a tool, wielded to exert power and control over another person. By learning and recognizing the signs of gaslighting, you empower yourself with the knowledge needed to understand and navigate through the situation. Armed with this understanding, you are better equipped to protect your mental well-being. Remember, recognizing the signs of gaslighting is the first step towards reclaiming your reality. The first sign of gaslighting is you constantly second-guess your reality. Living in a gaslighting situation feels like wandering aimlessly through a fog-ridden labyrinth, your grip on reality constantly called into question. You remember a conversation happening clearly, yet the gaslighter adamantly disputes your recollection, or maybe even denies events you know occurred. This isn't mere forgetfulness, but a deliberate attempt to sow seeds of doubt in your mind. It's as if someone is covertly shifting your furniture, prompting you to trip and question your sanity. This is a gaslighter's modus operandi. They weave a narrative where they're the only dependable storyteller, leaving you feeling disoriented and uncertain. Their manipulation results in a world where your perception is on shaky ground, where your reality seems to shift beneath your feet. When you're always doubting your reality, it's a clear sign you're being gaslighted. The second sign is you often feel confused and think you're losing your mind. This experience could be equated to being trapped in an ever-changing labyrinth, questioning the authenticity of your encounters. The tactics used by gaslighters revolve around constructing a scenario where you, the target, are constantly painted as the offender, or even mentally unstable. Such behavior is not only harmful, it's insidious. It intends to destabilize your faith in your own perceptions and judgments. Gradually, this could lead to a perpetual state of bewilderment and self-questioning, pushing you to doubt your sanity. This unsettling doubt is the psychological snare that the gaslighter intends for you to get trapped in, as it renders you more susceptible and easier to manipulate. If you constantly feel confused or crazy, you might be a victim of gaslighting. Recognizing these and seeking assistance if they resonate with your situation is crucial. The third sign is you find yourself always apologizing. Gaslighters turn situations around, making you feel everything is your fault. They play with your emotions, causing you to question your choices. This manipulation makes you apologize constantly, even for things you didn't cause. It's an endless loop of guilt. If you're always saying, "I'm sorry," it might be because you're being gaslighted. The fourth sign is you're becoming isolated from friends and family. Gaslighters use manipulative strategies to sever you from your emotional anchors. They subtly generate skepticism about your dear ones, fabricating scenarios that hinder your ability to nourish these bonds. They aim to isolate you, thus gaining more dominance. This isolation renders you reliant on them for emotional affirmation. They meticulously engineer this isolation, rendering it a barely perceptible yet destructive process. It's an insidious endeavor, one that gradually chips away at your ties to your loved ones, making it increasingly difficult for you to maintain those. This situation amplifies their control as your reliance on them grows stronger with the weakening of your support system. If you're losing touch with your loved ones, it's time to consider if you're being gaslighted. The fifth sign is you're always on the defensive. A gaslighter, skilled in the art of manipulation, has a talent for making you feel perpetually under siege. Their weapons of choice, criticism, and blame. What should be casual conversations become fierce battlefields. You're constantly anticipating criticism, bracing for the next round of accusations. It's like an unending game of dodgeball, where you're the gaslighter's objective. They aim to keep you perpetually off balance in a state of and self-justification. They foster a state of constant defense, where you're defending not just your actions, but your words and thoughts too. It's draining, right? Picture living on a treadmill that's set just a touch too fast. You're running to keep up, but never advancing. Pause for a moment. Ask yourself, why am I constantly on the defensive? Is this normal? The last thing to remember, if you're always on the defensive, it's a sign that someone might be gaslighting you. The sixth sign is you feel like you can't do anything right. This sign is among the most potent tools utilized by the gaslighter. They employ unceasing critique as a tactic to instill feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt within you. Initially, the criticism may be subtle, a slight dig at your abilities, easy to overlook or dismiss as a one-off. But over time, their derogatory remarks become more frequent, their severity escalating. You may notice that you're being reproached for things you were once lauded for, or for traits intrinsic to your character that you've always viewed as strengths. This is a concerted attack, aimed at your self-esteem, meticulously engineered to make you doubt your worth and capabilities. The constant wave of negativity can make you feel as if you're tiptoeing around eggshells, perpetually on the brink, trying to dodge the next volley of disparagements. But it's crucial to remind yourself that this barrage of criticism isn't a reflection of your worth, but a manipulative maneuver devised for controlling you. Amidst this all, if you continually feel like falling short, like you're insufficient, it might be an indication that you're being gaslighted. It's important not to let these calculated tactics chip away at your self-esteem. Remember, their criticisms are not a true portrayal of your worth. If you're always feeling like you're not good enough, it might be time to consider if you're being gaslighted. The seventh and final sign is you're more anxious and less confident than you used to be. Gaslighting is a psychological manipulation technique that slowly eats away at your self-esteem. It's like a slow-release poison, subtly infiltrating your mind, replacing your confidence with doubt. Over time, your once unshakable self-assurance starts to wane, replaced by an omnipresent anxiety. You find yourself in a constant state of worry, questioning your decisions, actions, and words. This anxiety gradually chips away at your confidence, forcing it to crumble. Once you were an embodiment of, but now that's replaced by an ever-present sense of restlessness. Your actions are fueled by apprehension, and you're constantly on edge, dreading doing or saying something wrong. You've become a phantom of your former self, a person you no longer recognize. Understandably, this is not a natural evolution of personality. It's a calculated manipulation, a tactic designed to make you feel lesser, dependent, and powerless. These feelings that have been instilled in you, they don't define your worth. They're just the result of a malevolent mental game, a scheme designed to systematically erode your self-worth. This change, this transformation from a confident individual to a nervous wreck, is not a reflection of your actual self. It's a sign, a flag, pointing towards an ongoing psychological manipulation. If you're more anxious and less confident than before, it's a sign that you might be a victim of gaslighting. Recognizing these 7 signs is crucial to understanding if you're a victim of gaslighting. It commences subtly, instilling doubts about your own reality, making you feel disoriented. You're continuously apologizing, distancing from loved ones, and always defending yourself, as though you're perpetually in the wrong. Gradually, this results in increased anxiety and a nosedive in self-confidence. The impact of gaslighting is significant, severely affecting your mental and emotional health. It undermines your sense of reality, self-trust, and self-value, rendering you susceptible and emotionally exhausted. This psychological manipulation can be incapacitating, but bear in mind that you're not alone, nor are you to blame. Gaslighting, a grim reality for many, requires recognizing the signs to start reclaiming reality. Don't blame yourself. Support is readily available. It's time to reclaim your reality.